Welcome to episode number 20 of the Dropouts. I'm Shawnee B, and I'm here with my co-host Matty M.
What's up?
We got JP.
Hello.
And we are talking about Mind vs. Machine. But before I hand it over to JP to discuss exactly what we're going to be talking about, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all our channels. Make sure you remember to look up 5 a.m. on a Monday. That's when we're dropping the episode on Spotify. So, JP, take it away.
Love
what we're talking about.
You said 20, and I was like, I just had a bit of a moment. Because
yeah, actually, hang on.
That's
Let's
a
give
big
it
deal.
a round of applause.
Yeah, give a round of applause in there. 20. That's big.
It's crazy.
Like, we set out our main number one goal, like the ultimate goal, not the ultimate goal, but the real goal was like
Well, it was
get to
actually to
21.
get to 20.
21, yeah.
And the reason was because what was the stat around 21?
We went over that stat so many fucking
Bro,
times in the
like-
first few episodes.
It's like 93% of, or something like that, 93% of podcasts drop out after before 22 or something like that.
Dropout.
Dropouts.
We don't do that up in here.
No, I think I think the number was like 70 after like 3, and then I think it's like top 1% get past 21.
What was our first? It was 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We
First
celebrated
3,
4.
then like 10.
That's a good win, boys. Honestly,
Yeah.
for sticking out confidence, there's
Another
no one
round of
else.
applause. Just give
Another
another
round of
little one.
consistency.
Another little one.
There's no one else I'd rather be doing this podcast with.
Oh, shit. Doesn't matter.
Sorry, boys.
So yeah, 20. Fuck,
Yeah.
that's massive.
Well done, brothers. Good job.
yeah.
Well done.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking a bit about, well, the topic is mind versus machine. So we thought it'd be good to have a bit of a chat about everything AI. So a couple of areas I want to talk about. Firstly, just around a bit about AI evolution, kind of how it all started. A bit about kind of, I guess, out like the human creative side versus AI, like exploring human ability, like creativity, emotional intelligence, in contrast to what things like AI can and can't do.
Right.
You know, AI in daily life. Another interesting topic is like ethics and bias in AI.
Yeah,
Like what sort
ethics
of
especially.
bias is AI introducing as soon as you put a machine in to take a person's job? All of a sudden you say, well, hold on, a human being had to train that machine. Therefore, there's going to be inherently bias and things like AI. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a chat about that. But yeah, I thought I'd kick us off with just an interesting point around some of the early beginnings around AI, which started with in 1950, the British mathematician, pretty well known, Alan Turing. You probably heard of the Turing test, and that's what he proposed that back then. And what he suggested was that if a machine could engage in a conversation with a human in such a way that the human couldn't distinguish it from another human participant, the machine could be considered intelligent. Now, did either of you watch the movie Ex Machina by any chance?
Oh, yes, I did when I was a kid.
That actor, I don't know what his name is. I fucking love him. But
the actor in
he
that?
actually references it in the movie. He's a bit of a psychopath. Anyway, but the whole point is, the Turing test was, and I'll repeat that again because I think it's just a lot of people probably don't know that, but it's such a significant thing. He was the first one to suggest that if a machine could engage in a conversation with a human in such a way that the human couldn't distinguish it from another human, the machine itself could be considered intelligent. So that concept laid the philosophical and theoretical groundwork for
What AI is.
AI research in general. And because the fact is that it highlighted the idea of creating machines that could mimic human
Wow.
intelligence.
And who's the AI robot was it Alex or the female robot that they have?
In that movie?
No, like in real life.
Oh,
now.
I don't know.
There's a female robot that you've never seen that?
Oh, you're talking about
That the actual robot that actually speaks like a human and has conversations.
I think I did see it, but I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
But I think in this instance, it's more talking like, think about like fast forward now to 2023, like modern day chatbots. Like you jump on a website, a human really can't tell the difference whether they're speaking with, you know, a person in the Philippines, like replying on the keyboard, or an AI.
Yeah, like it's just like I think we always saw. I think everyone's had experiences where like you log a support ticket or you go to support on the Iconic or whatever, and you can always tell like, oh, this is a bot. But we've now gotten to that point where in the last 12 months there are literally AI bots, just like obviously in ChatGPT, going and have a conversation that you literally couldn't distinguish.
Right.
Like if that was a voice coming back at you with like tonality, with all that sort of stuff, you would genuinely think that was just another person.
So his theory's coming to life almost.
Yeah.
In the next
100%.
5, 10, 15 years, it's going to be quite significant.
I'll let you continue on with that timeline
No,
because there's so much sort of to get through and unpack there. But, you know, it's such an interesting topic. Like it really is an interesting topic, and it's
exciting and scary at the same
very,
time.
very,
agreed.
And very, there's a lot to unpack there. There's so many sort of like different routes you can go down with the whole conversation about AI. But I suppose what's like really the most interesting is how much leaps and bounds it's made in the last couple of years, especially like ChatGPT was not a thing until last year.
Bro, it literally came out of nowhere and it felt like we took a leap forward, like 10 years in one hit.
You'll see in like later on in that, you know, Like, but just to quickly summarize over it. So what ended up happening post 1950?
Okay, so
just in a nutshell.
So we went from that to then the 50s and 60s. There was something called the logic theorist, and that was developed by a guy by the name of Alan Newell and Herbert Simon in 56. And the logic theorist was one of the earliest AI programs. So what it could do is it could prove mathematical theorems by representing knowledge in symbolic form, which showcased the potential of symbolic AI.
Okay. So this is going back into the early days of AI, but then it got to a point where it kind of just took off exponentially, correct? Like there's got to be some breakthrough moment.
Yeah, so when they were actually talking more about AI,
well,
discussing
this
a lot
was
more.
an interesting one that I looked at. And this was now getting to the point where, and this was obviously just an interesting story as well.
Where it was interactive?
This 1990s, this was more about like, moving into this concept of machine learning, like machines being able to kind of learn from, what humans are teaching it essentially. So in 1997, IBM, obviously we all know IBM.
Blue chip stocks.
Bit of a fall from grace. IBM's Deep Blue was basically a chess playing computer. And it made history by defeating the reigning world chess champion,
Wow, there you go.
Garry Kasparov, in a 6-game match.
Damn.
This guy was a reigning world chess champion. So that's really what demonstrated the power of what machine learning and computers and AI can really do in solving complex problems. Which is just crazy because that just showed that now AI can excel in tasks that required vast amounts of imagine how much data it would have had to look at, analyze, and make a decision on. To beat this guy has had, I don't know how many years, 50, 60 years of, who knows how long he's been playing chess, how many chess games he's played.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about the computer, which was like the point I was going to allude to earlier, which is like we are only limited the development of our cognitive development and problem solving tasks and
to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, we can only have so many conversations a day. We only have 24 hours a day. We got to sleep. We got to eat. We have all these factors. Computers are fucking computers.
Our mind fatigues, body fatigues,
literally,
etc.
They remove all those human
attributes,
all the barriers that we have to get over, and they're having millions of conversations a day. From the point of ChatGPT when it became first widely accessible, across the world, to now. It's had more conversations with more people more consistently than thousands of people round up together. The rate at which it's developing is exponential.
Yeah,
it's scary.
It's nuts. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I think the interesting thing is that you mentioned it before, Shawnee, about AI being scary and stuff. This kind of led into another topic, which was around what is it that AI will ultimately be able to do? We can look at it as scary. We can go, okay, well, it's ultimately going to take over certain things, certain elements of jobs or what have you. But what is it that we're going to be able to hold on to and keep and maintain as something that these computers ultimately won't be able to do? Whether it's I don't know. But then always we say creativity, and you say the AI art and stuff like that too.
But I guess it comes down to its advantages and its capabilities. What's its advantages or what's its limitations? Surely at some point in time there won't be any limitations with AI because it'll be so far advanced that we'll be sort of in the back seat. That's what I see it will be going. I'm not saying the next 10 years, 20 years, but 50 to 100 years, it's going to be pretty crazy.
There's a video Alex Hormozy posted, and maybe I'll put the link in our YouTube bio, or maybe I'll even link the video.
Bring it up, Jamie.
On our own, bring it up, Jamie. We're getting there. Even the way we've used AI in our everyday life, we'll continue to delve into, I guess the technical side of AI, which is something I think I'm keen to discuss and something that I'm keen to learn a little bit more on because I know you've done a little bit of research, JP. But the first interaction that I had with AI, I think, was probably Siri. Do you remember when Siri came out?
That was still crazy,
bro.
But you use it.
I do. I use it on a daily basis.
Yeah,
but that stuff isn't even. That's the thing. That's not even impressive to me now.
Isn't that funny? That's not even impressive now.
Well, tell us about because I never really used it.
Yeah,
and I never really used Siri as well. I didn't really use it too much, but
I think I was always, when Siri first came out, I was always fascinated by voice for some reason. I was like, well, it's just so much, for us, we went to this, we got to this point where we're using touch phones, whatever. But then we got to the point where for me, I was like, it's actually exhausting for me to go and, not exhausting, but to type stuff, to do stuff. I'm like, voice is so untapped because you could literally yell out a command and it
Yeah.
gets done. Or do you remember you
I'm
guys
the
ever watch
same.
Spy Kids?
Yeah, Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they like say something and it would like do it, and then the
Yeah.
Mac is in the microwave, whatever. It was just like really easy. They just yell out a bunch of commands and it would happen. So I don't know. I just got into using Siri, and I found like the Google Home and all that stuff really interesting. But yeah, I mean, for me, but the funny thing is that you see the limitations of something like I'll tell you right now. If ChatGPT or OpenAI, which is the company that ultimately has the program, if they released some sort of device like the reason why Apple's HomePod is shit, and Apple's HomePod is essentially the equivalent of like Google Home.
Why isn't it as good?
Well, because Google has access to so much more data,
yeah,
right?
Does it?
But they don't. Apple
Well,
Apple.
I mean,
Google.
No,
yeah,
like,
Google,
okay,
of
for
course.
example,
But I'm just
example.
thinking, like, in
Have you
comparison with
ever-
Apple, like,
have
I
you
feel
ever
like
had an
Apple
issue?
still has a whole
No,
lot of data.
they do.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
I mean, think of it this way: even if you use Apple Maps versus Google Maps, if you use both long term, you'll notice
Yeah.
that there's missing shit from Apple Maps. It might take you the wrong way. The traffic data is not as good. They just don't have a
Google
Yeah.
Maps does my fucking head
Yeah,
in,
I don't
bro.
use Google Maps.
hate
Yeah.
Google
What do you
Maps.
guys use?
Apple Maps.
Oh my
just on your phone.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah, the one
such an inferior product.
No, because
Google
Google,
Maps is
Google's
fucked.
always like, you take a left turn and then it'll show you the blue thing like turning like 10 minutes later, and you're like, fuck me dead, I already made that left turn.
Update your phone.
No, joke it.
No, Waze is the best, but let's not get into that.
Waze.
Waze.
I
No,
used to,
but
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, you know, a lot of drug dealers like that because then they can know where police officers and stuff
Oh
are.
yeah. Well, yeah.
That's
yeah.
actually good
When
for-
I've had one.
Not even
Yeah,
drug
too
dealers.
many.
Like, just, yeah, what?
A couple of drinks. Like, you have a couple of drinks.
Yeah, just a couple of
Yeah.
like you think, oh, I'm 0.05, but just in case I'm 0.05. just in
I
case
had
I'm
2.5, 3 beers.
Well, I
few
had 2
shots.
drinks in the first hour and 7 every hour after that. I mean, and then 1 every hour.
Good.
But imagine how sick it would be, like, for example, right now, like, and this is not even that ridiculous to fathom. Let's just say we had some sort of like OpenAI device that was here, and instead of us having to do shit like what Jamie does, bringing up a clip or whatever, it would totally
Yeah.
linear. Like you just say, oh,
Do
like
this in your phone.
hey, like what Andreas, whatever the fucking thing's
Whoever-
name is.
yeah.
Oh, bring up a clip on YouTube that's like this. Oh, sure, brings it up. Like the implications.
That's not unfathomable
That's
at all.
At all.
No,
at
of
all.
course
Not
In
at
fact,
all.
there's becoming less and less things that are unfathomable.
Yeah.
I think the next
That are surprising. That are like,
Yeah. I have a
Wow.
feeling the next
Yeah.
frontier will be physical to do with AI. Like it'll be literally to do with like having like fucking, it'll be like stem cells and
But
skin
it's
and all
actually-
but they
that,
got
like,
the chips that they're trying to work on as well.
Yeah.
Elon Musk got
But
the chips.
even now,
that's
bro,
when it gets
I
fucking
think
scary,
yeah,
bro.
that's right.
Because then you go like, what's a fucking
Yeah,
person?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
what's a person?
Yeah.
How do you know?
How
You have to
far
chop
do you-
their
how
fucking
far do
leg
you
off
take
to
it?
know.
But that's going into like
The
Armageddon.
extremes.
Yeah. the end of the
I'm
world.
talking
The
like
extremes,
literally in
yeah.
terms
Terminator.
of intellectual property, like in terms of like information. It's fucking unbelievable, bro. You can literally say, hey, write a novel about this, this, and this, and it'll just do it right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you have access on your phone to do anything.
Universities are kicking off. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
People are not doing their work.
No, they don't. Put it on, turn it in. Oh, hang on. I'll just get another AI to rewrite it so that it
Sounds
doesn't
like-
get turned it in.
Exactly right. Just
Yeah.
make it sound like this person or that person. Like
Sounded like me. Yeah, but that's what they can do, can't they? So if you type enough things into the AI, you can type it like in my verbiage, in my wordage.
yeah, but you can even tell it to
Yeah.
talk like a combination of 3 people.
Yes.
I want talking a combination
In the-
of Hormozy, Gary Vee, and
and
Sean
Dave Chappelle
Buchanan.
or
Yeah,
something.
whatever.
Just-
Do you know what I mean? And then it'll like it just will sound like.
It goes round and
I'll
round
just,
and
and I
round.
said this before. I think what it's done, like what ChatGPT has done for the English language, is likened to that of what the calculator did for maths.
Right.
I just like think about what the calculator
Yeah.
did for maths. All of a sudden, people didn't have to use their brain. Type it in the calculator. How can we get people to
Fuck,
actually
I
use
still
their
didn't
fucking
pass
brain?
maths.
But Gary Vee talks about this a lot, and I think this is like now going into, all right, we've talked about, I guess, like the timeline of it and like our early application, our experiences with it. But in terms of like, there's still going to be a need for a human to apply this because
Yeah.
look, we're even seeing it now.
run
Like
it.
7 billion people on Earth. How many people do you think have access to a smartphone? How many? I'm just asking.
Bro, honestly, legit a ridiculous amount because the smartphones that are now available, like even in third world countries, they have like cheap, like Oppo ones that are $100,
Yeah.
$200.
Flip phones.
And
Still
even then,
smartphones.
Yeah.
so it still requires at least some degree of knowledge or, ability to interact with the program, giving it the right prompts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Telling-
that's right.
But that's a small group of people though. So if you look at like what jobs are this AI going to take over, like it's all up to the people who run those companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I going to offload these employees for this AI? That's where the decision is going to be made.
Well, I'll give you an interesting example. I used to work for like a HR tech company before the one I'm at now, and
LinkedIn?
no.
sorry.
Anyway, but we used to talk about like it used to be about like, oh, okay, let's like it used to be when it came to like talent and people and human capital, like in organizations, people. It used to talk about buy, as in hire talent in, borrow, use it from somewhere else in your own business, buy, borrow, or build, which means upskill the people that already work for your organization. Now they've added in buy, borrow, build, bot. So what are you going to actually automate?
Yeah.
What jobs can you, in a nice way, nice possible way, get rid of?
And save the bottom line.
Quite frankly, why would a marketing team need 10 fucking copywriters
Why?
when you could get one
Yeah.
to literally type in a bunch of prompts all day and write your copy for you?
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong, you're probably not going to still post that black and white, but you get that to ChatGPT to write you 10
You get to the
copyright, and then you
90
just fiddle around with it, change it up. Like,
literally.
honestly.
Yeah, but as things are evolving so fast, it's going to be a time where you don't need that person to do it.
Probably, yeah, you're right.
Right, so-
Because the thing is, so even ChatGPT, which obviously we don't use to run our podcast.
But isn't it honestly even the paradox? Not even the paradox. Just like the what's the word I'm
Irony,
looking for?
maybe? No?
The irony of that fact that we're literally
that is
come up
very
with
ironic.
prompts for ideas for the podcast.
Yeah.
To give us a rough breakdown of like how to
And
structure it. Not to say
It
that
took us, and like this might sound really prepared, it took us like 7 minutes to get all of this
Yeah.
content.
correct,
Yeah.
but the comedic genius within us and
The chat and us.
and the
Hey, I
human
can't do this.
and the human chemistry that we share.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
fact that we get up at
because
5 a.m.
that's right. But that's a good point though, because that's what people like. They like that interaction, that human interaction, right? But again, at some point in time, things are going to be taken over. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of AI?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big topic in itself, but
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing.
It's-
I mean, obviously, the obvious disadvantage which we covered off on was like the disadvantages in a lot of people's eyes is going to be, well, there's going to be a loss
Layoffs
of layoffs
yeah.
and jobs. And I was just thinking this before, like the idea of like outsourcing a job to something that is obviously going to be able to do it fast and more
Yeah.
efficiently is that's not a new concept. That's why people outsource stuff
And
to
Fiverr.
virtual assistants in the Philippines, or
Yeah.
they go on Fiverr and they get a
whatever.
software to it. So people have been looking for these types of solutions for a
Yeah.
long time, but now
it's just the end product won't come from a human.
yeah, exactly right. And
Which I guess is a benefit in itself in terms of like, well, it's actually not very beneficial. I was just talking about like you've got, like you said, you pass it off to maybe third world countries to go and do this type of work before, but that's more physical labor
Yeah.
rather than things like
Yeah.
this. Like, have you seen those cobalt mining farms? Like where you see your iPhone actually comes from?
no,
Bro, it's actually
Yeah.
like,
Really?
it's actually really sad, bro. Like
Yeah.
like where they get batteries
I
from.
haven't seen
yeah,
that.
it's
like
fun.
that's not lithium, no.
Hey AI, bring up a video of no.
Yeah, like that.
ChatGPT.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll have an AI producer.
Literally.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Why the fuck not?
I have an AI girlfriend.
Bro, that was in that fucking movie.
Hey Siri, make me a sandwich.
Bro, if you said, "Hey Google," it would have
fuck,
probably
she came
responded.
Hey Google's like,
Unreal.
hey, what about Hey Bixby?
No, bro, what's that movie? Oh, Blade Runner.
Blade
Bro,
Runner.
He's
Yeah.
2049. His girlfriend is the AI.
AI.
What's his
Yeah.
name? Not Gosling. Is it Gosling? No.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Yeah, there was a second one. The second one, Ryan Gosling, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With
that's
Harrison Ford.
2049. Bro, that was actually good.
Yeah.
Bro, what
I
about
like
the
that.
metaverse?
Bro, that
Yeah.
died in the ass.
Yeah, he's still trying to do it.
You know,
but
I
he's still
swear,
trying to.
when Facebook's stock plummeted by 70%, everyone was saying, fuck it, to buy. I thought, yeah, you should probably buy it. Bro, it's anyway, it's back
Gone.
up.
It's gone down the
But
toilet?
it's gone through the absolute fucking roof.
Oh, really?
Oh, from what? Don't you remember that day where it dropped like 70% in one day? Because they failed to meet expectations of the market, and they just, bro,
But
they
then they
heard
went
about
back
it on the news. It's sunk. But like, anyway, it doesn't matter. I went off topic. My point is, metaverse got shafted hard because of the whole conversational AI, which is like this, what we're just talking about.
First, we pitch them blue chip stocks, IBM, Kodak, things they know. Then
Wolf of
we
Wall Street?
unload the dog shit. When we make the return. 50%, it's the pink sheets.
How many times have you watched that
So
movie?
many times. You nailed that. You absolutely nailed that. One other thing I wanted to that I found really interesting when I was doing a bit of research
Some research.
was talking about fucking
watch
hell,
out.
bro, not break the TV.
Sorry.
Was like the ethics and bias with AI. So there's
Okay,
this
go
big
through
thing,
that.
especially in corporate, like where like the corporates drill AI companies. Even obviously the one I was working for, because the whole thing is like, well, like, is this AI, how has it been trained? Because you can train an AI model with whatever the fuck you want. Like, at the end of the day, if you're training it on human data, then inherently that AI is going to be biased. So, for example, if you go and build an algorithm to fucking select candidates in a recruiting process.
Yes.
And that model is being fed with data from human beings.
It's going to be biased.
It's going to be biased to what all those human beings have done.
True.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? So there's this big thing around how can you
Keep it
create
neutral.
ethical, unbiased AI? So just
Right.
for example, there's interesting. This was actually earlier, 2023. Yeah, earlier this year, New York State passed some legislation that said any use of AI by a corporate needs to be third party, independently audited.
Right.
Independently audited AI, or it cannot be used by law.
That's
To make sure that the
There's no
AI is
bias.
not biased.
That's
Yeah,
right, to
yeah.
make sure it's not biased. Independently audited. So you can't go and mark your own fucking homework and say, yeah, AI is independently audited, it's ethical. No, you have to give it to, like, for example, the company I used to work for, we gave it to like a university
Wow.
to actually audit it, gave it to UTS to audit their algorithms. And
So
what have you.
hypothetically,
pretty
if you had an algorithm that was becoming like educated from like a bunch of racist people, then the AI would become
That's right.
racist.
Well, that's right. It will.
Wow.
So they'll choose
But
the
isn't that
candidates
interesting?
based on their
But
bias.
it has to be, right?
It's
'Cause
nature
that's where
versus nurture.
Unless you,
Like, AI is
because like that's the thing.
naturally-
How
That's a
do
good
you?
topic. Yeah, fuck.
Well, then what I'm curious of is like how did I'm gonna fucking just look this up right
That-
now.
yeah,
like how do
please.
they take the bias out? Because like they have to feed it data that's inherently biased. Full stop. Because
So
otherwise,
then wouldn't they just like have a, I guess like a even field of people, depth of people they're choosing to
I
make
don't
sure
know.
that
It
it's-
must be so hard. Like, how do you? There must be statisticians and data scientists and all that. That's their job. Data engineers.
I would even think the best way to do that would be to outsource to them to actually do the whole process for you.
well, I suppose
Then
then,
there wouldn't be any bias from it.
but isn't this AI ChatGPT right now just learning from the amount of people that are constantly on the net? Like right now, like that's how it's learning?
Oh, what you said is absolutely right. By the way,
Right.
it says here one of the ways that companies are removing bias from AI systems is by collecting diverse and representative data sets, representative of the
Right.
population, I guess, ensuring that the trained data used to develop AI models represents a wide range of demographics and characteristics.
Hang on a second. We're in the year 2023. So can you just read that for me again? So a divide. So now we're going to have like very inclusive ChatGPT.
yeah,
now it's
yeah,
going to be a
yeah,
bunch of fucking left-wing AI robots. All right.
Honestly, that was much better than what I thought was going to come out of your mouth.
No, seriously, bro.
So it's not going to be the right candidate then.
Yeah. So
that
hang on.
right?
If
So
you,
actually, you know what? That's pretty
hang on
funny.
a second. Hang on a second.
Because then you technically have to feed it like 0.1%, like all that. What are
For
you
those,
gonna
I'm
type?
just, how many genders are there? I just want to ask ChatGPT this.
We're on a bit of a rant here.
No, I just want to have a look.
Well, it's definitely going to be. It's
see-
Microsoft fucking owned.
How
and
many
invested.
genders are there?
No, down,
Down,
wrong
down,
way,
down.
bro.
Okay. The concept of gender is complex and
variety.
you can't just tell me that it's male and female.
people
Some
never-
gender.
Yeah, bro, it's a tech company. They're all fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I'd put it out there. You know, it's
In summary, the number of genders is not fixed and can be diverse. Anyway, that's another topic for another day.
Another day.
Intermission. Lol.
Maddie can't wait.
I don't even know how we got onto that question. How did we end up there?
Hang on, one sec.
No,
I'm
it's because
just asking a question. Is Jesus Lord? What's that?
Goodness. Let's see what it says.
Yes, he is.
The
Wow.
belief that Jesus is the Lord is a central tenet of Christian faith. In Christian theology, da 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 da.
Yeah. Anyway, I know
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
gotta be
subtopic.
You know what's
specific
interesting?
to-
If I wanted to learn theology, I could probably just go in here and
Yeah.
like. I got to ask a bunch of questions about that.
But you know what's even crazy now? Like, and I guess I don't want to segue into another topic just so
You're
quickly.
really-
but
you're
we're
not
gonna
doing that, though.
You're 2 points away.
I know. We're gonna get there in a
Throwing
second.
rocks.
But I just want to throw in Neuralink, and that's gonna come out in a little bit. We're gonna talk.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk
Neuralink. That's a chip, isn't it?
You never heard about Neuralink?
The chip.
I've heard of the term, but I know
Is
nothing
that-
about it.
Elon Musk's
It's
Neuralink.
Elon Musk, yeah.
Oh, is this the brain chip company to
Yeah.
like transmit the consciousness or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
You were saying, JP. Sorry to cut you off so rudely.
You know, there's some. I know a guy who I really respect him a lot, and he was talking about how Elon is actually
The Antichrist.
yeah, like he's actually there's someone in the Old Testament that's like Elon's like a
Elon.
joke.
Yeah.
He's actually like literally a joke that's been put on here that like.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, you're not very good at not talking about things you don't know.
No,
about.
but I'm saying it's just I'm fascinated by it because he was like saying basically that like Elon Musk has been put here like literally as a joke and like he's very I don't know exactly what he is, but he's like do you see what I'm trying to get at here? Help me out with words. Like he's not the Antichrist, but he's a fucking distraction.
He's a distraction.
An absolute and utter distraction.
I do tend to agree. I do
Anyway.
tend to agree. But yeah, go on.
Oh man, we could just like have an off the cuff episode, but just typing a bunch of stuff in here and learning
And
about
just
it.
talk about whatever.
But like off the cuffs could actually be good now instead of shit.
Thanks
See,
to AI.
thanks to
any
AI
of you-
topic.
Sorry to any of you that heard a shitty off the cuff. So actually, a couple of them were good,
Yeah, oh, man,
but they were
it's-
pretty much only
A structured off the cuff.
They were off the
segment.
cuff,
Yeah.
not for any other reason other than we
But
didn't
you know what? I
think of anything.
suppose one of the like most enjoyable things about doing a podcast is like one of our goals is to either I think and Shawnee's really drilled this in as in the background while we're trying to get better because every week we're definitely getting better and we're finding our feet and our voice and what we really want to achieve with the dropouts and where we want to head. But the cornerstones of like wanting to educate, inspire,
Or entertain.
or entertain.
That's
what I mean?
hot.
I
Yeah.
love that. And I feel like they really are the key cornerstones
Yeah.
of, well, there's three of us and our three, like, real...
Three pillars.
The three pillars.
Oh, wow.
The three
Pillars.
pillars of the
Pillars.
dropouts. Hang on, just had a fucking
Fuck,
light
did we just
bulb
have a
moment.
big? That was a big moment.
Mate,
Number
episode
20.
20.
Episode
and,
20.
Like this is like good.
Yeah.
Wait, we still got to have our fucking dinner as
I'm
well.
catching a vibe right now.
Dinner's at 21.
We still
yeah.
haven't-
21.
Oh, 21,
Can you
yeah.
do
20,
some-
22. Because 21's the thing, and it's 22 once you
Okay.
go over that mark.
Yeah,
But
once
yeah.
you-
After over that
after
hump.
21.
And I think that's that perfect balance is like we want to have, a bunch of content or topics centered around something that's fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
That's
But,
like just
yeah.
mindless and just hilarious.
But also that we can learn.
That we can
because
learn.
we're dropouts, we didn't go to uni, we didn't learn
Which is the
anything.
education.
Education part, yeah.
And then the inspiring, which is just like, I guess having people on the show that, really push the limits. Like
Yeah.
someone like Ned Brockman or someone
Yes.
like, someone like
Wouldn't it be-
myself.
Wouldn't it be so interesting? What did you say?
Episode 21, our special guest, Matty Morgan. Fuck off.
Wouldn't it be like so interesting to get like obviously we've had this like we did this episode on AI and what have you, a mind versus machine. Wouldn't it be so interesting to get someone? Doesn't have to be like the fucking leading expert on an AI.
No, someone that
but
knows
someone
more
that, like,
than us.
is from working at a university to be willing to come and
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
to us about it.
Totally.
Wouldn't that be sick? But we could just dial them in via Riverside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of AI.
Hybrid setup
Riverside.
because of
Down
AI.
there, Riverside.
Okay, but I actually had like just back to the topic of AI. I don't know. We touched on this before, but I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that AI will ever reach a point where it will achieve something like human level consciousness or emotions? You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh, that's a hard one.
No, I don't. I think.
do you think the world will just end before that happens?
Here's what I know.
That's what you're going to say.
No,
Which
that's
I
not-
actually probably
No, I
believe.
want to
reckon?
offer something a
I
little
reckon
bit.
once we get to the point where we've really like overstepped. No,
Oh,
but then
yeah.
no one knows the day or the time, right? No one knows
the day of the time. But what I would say is that it's not that it could inherently become human or develop a human level consciousness, but it will become so educated to the point where the AI itself and the system will had that many conversations that it could replicate it so much.
Like R2D2
Not
kind
at-
of thing.
I don't know
what's
about
it-
Star Wars, but at its nature, it will never be human. But the point to which it can replicate it, where other humans might not be able to differentiate between a robot and AI,
Yeah.
it will get to that point.
Yeah,
but also-
but at its core, it will
Oh,
never
of course,
be.
it will never have a
no,
soul.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there'll never be anything.
But
like
it's
Yeah,
also-
but it's scary that it can get to that point. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
will just
Yeah.
fall in love with
At what
robots.
point does God draw the line?
Yeah, but also
Say, like,
but also,
Hey, bro.
yeah, but that's a good point. But I also think it's dependent on who the person who's pushing it. Like it's always going to come down to the individual, like a human being who's actually going to push the program into doing what it wants it to do. Like there's always going to be that bias, but it getting to itself being conscious and being able to go do things that it wants. Like what's that Will Smith movie?
iRobot, man.
I haven't watched it.
You've
Oh,
never
bro.
watched
It's
such a famous movie, but
iRobot.
I've never
Bro,
watched
sick.
it.
Bro, you gotta watch
Yeah, but I
iRobot.
feel like I'll be underwhelmed whenever you watch
Well,
a
such an old
man.
Whenever
Yeah,
you watch a
well.
really old movie that you've okay, let's tell you something. I'll tell
Yeah.
you for example, everyone raves about Lord of the Rings. I watched it like 20 years after it was made. I thought it was shit.
But it's different.
iRobot, yeah.
iRobot, I feel like even watching it now, especially if you've never
this
watched
topic,
it,
especially with this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially
okay.
that you've never watched it as well. Like 100% what Sean's saying with this topic. If you watched it back in the cinemas, I remember watching it with my dad.
Bro,
Like it was the
sick.
best fucking movie.
Yeah.
No. What were you gonna do?
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Nothing.
No,
Yeah,
all good.
but that's what I mean. Like, it's going to be pushed by human beings, but it's never going to get to that level of who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a very hard thing to determine how it's going to go. But it's going so quick. But what's it going to look like in 10 years' time?
Mate,
Isn't sorry.
go on.
No, I was just going to say, isn't it like I was just reflecting on this is like topic or it's not topic aside, but isn't it crazy how we are conditioned so slowly and gradually that we don't even notice how far things have come. Like
Yeah.
if
much.
someone had said
It's
to
in the
you when
background,
you were
yeah.
like 10 years ago, like, oh, like you'll use like facial recognition to do everything in your day to day or a lot, or bro, think about it. I'm using my fingerprint to unlock my laptop.
Yeah.
I'm using my fingerprint to unlock my fucking front door now.
Yeah, but it was all in movies though.
No.
It was always premeditated, but it was always like in movies.
Yeah,
like, oh,
but
that'll never happen.
my point
Back
is
to the
that we're
future, et cetera.
conditioned
They
slowly.
condition you.
Yeah, I get what you're
For
saying.
example,
Yeah.
we'll first sign in with like, I don't know, you might use your voice or something or whatever.
Yeah.
But like we're at the point where like we've been conditioned so slowly to and have our not privacy. Look, I don't have a problem with it because I think mostly because I think to myself, why the fuck am I so important that someone's coming after me specifically?
It's being naive.
Yeah.
It is naive, but
It is.
to a certain extent, it's also true. Like, why would they specifically want me more than like you or Sean?
Yeah.
Or
It's
like,
not, but
it's
you're
random,
all
but
equally
it's
valued.
everyone.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
The group as an aggregate is valuable.
But what I
Yeah.
think you're talking about as well is generational. So like back in the day, they only used fucking cash. And then they
Yeah.
used a checkbook, and then they used a credit
Even
card,
that,
and then
like,
they're
where we
now
are,
on the phone.
IP address,
right?
like every time we
Yeah,
tap, like
yeah.
everything is like
But
tracked.
the next generation that come along, they might not be using their phone to pay for something. They might be using the Euro. The
That's
link.
what they might be.
They will
The
think
link or
chip in
whatever
their
it may
fucking
be.
arm.
They'll have something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's, that's why, like, I know, call me crazy, but bro, how much more developed can we get? How much less of a moral and ethical impact can it have on society as a whole to where we just fuck ourselves up completely?
Nah, bro, we got a long way to
Yeah.
go.
Do you think so?
I reckon, bro. We haven't even.
But I'll tell you why. But I say this because the rate of which we're like exponentially growing is just like at the vertical now. Think about literally 15 years ago, no, there was no such thing as an iPhone. There was no such thing as a smartphone. You used to have to use the street directory. And now,
Can
like
use
the leaps
yeah.
and bounds that you can make in 12 months. Bro, ChatGPT came out 12
But that's what I mean.
months ago.
That is such a big development that development can be implemented into so many things.
Facets of life.
Like think about what that could be applied to. That could be
Yeah.
applied to moving fucking stiff as like we know they're robots. They're robots. But that can be applied to things like that. Why can't that intelligence, whatever you want to call it, be applied to something that is created in a lab?
And do you know what's scary? We only have access to this now. That bro, like the creators of ChatGPT have known about this
A long
technology.
time. Oh,
10,
yeah.
Could you
15
imagine
years
the
ago.
guy that went,
Do you know what?
guys, look at what we've just
Yeah,
fucking
back in the
created.
90s.
Do you know
Bro,
that,
back in
the 90s, I believe so too, bro. Do you
Yeah.
know how much stuff they're working on right now that,
Yeah.
like, obviously we just don't have access to?
Yeah.
Have you seen like that? It's not a conspiracy, but there's a name for they're like Blu-ray guns that like, how do I explain it? Like point and shoot lasers that like explode things.
Oh, I think I've.
Have you seen what I'm
I
talking
think
about?
I've seen
It's not a
that.
bullet.
No.
It's literally
Yeah.
you just point and it'll explode.
and something whatever.
and
Yeah,
something will
that's
explode.
pretty scary.
Bro, it's
Yeah,
it's
but you
scary.
imagine like looking at us like when we're you used to look like an 80-year-old that's sitting in a home that doesn't know what the fuck an iPhone does or how to open it or how to use it. You imagine when we're 80 years old.
Oh my God.
What's gonna be around when we're like, what is this stuff that they're doing?
Yeah.
Like, and then you got your grandkids and your great grandkids that are going through all these things,
100%.
doing what we're doing right now. But it's also so good. How good is it of us to be in this generation where we're seeing the evolution of it?
development, yeah.
Bro, I remember when my sister was texting for the first time.
Were you tripping out?
Bro, I was like 12 years old. I was like, what are you doing? She was on this Nokia, the thick Nokia, just texting my cousin. And I was like, what's that? And
Bro,
I
it
just
was
like passed it out. I was just watching TV.
Isn't that so funny?
Bro, I was like, and now I think back to it, I'm like, fuck, like you look at the iPhone now.
Yeah.
And then you used to text like, how are you? HOW,
Yeah,
are you?
yeah.
Because there's only one line
And
text.
bro, it just takes so fucking long to write it.
yeah. That's right.
Because you have to go dum dum dum
Yeah.
for like the
dum,
furthest
dum.
letter.
And it's like the thick
On the
buttons.
7.
Oh, and then if you get to like,
that's right, yeah. That's true.
oh, on the
Yeah, yeah.
7, but then it was fuck. Then you do it once too many, and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, is that the last one?
True.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Bro, I could do it without fucking looking at it down here at school, just like
Yeah.
yeah, literally.
JP, what are you doing?
fucking texting.
But again, how
Bro,
far
the
it's come
fuck- that
so
must be
like
fun
now.
schools these days. But I was just going to say just something interesting. I saw this ages ago, but the time taken, I was just looking at a bunch of different technology platforms and how long it took them to reach 1 million daily users.
Okay,
So,
yes.
This is really interesting. I won't read all of them, but I'll read a bunch of them. So
Threads
we've
went
got here.
off.
Wow,
Threads
did
went off.
Threads.
Threads.
Wait,
Ah,
so,
that's
so,
what-
so, for example, Facebook in 2004 took 10 months. Dropbox
months.
Dropbox took
Wow.
7 months. Spotify 5 months. Instagram 2.5 months to reach 1 million daily active users. ChatGPT took 5 days to reach 1 million daily active users. That means
they're using
that user has to log in unique once a day at least. 5 days. Threads took 1 fucking hour. But I mean,
but that's linked to Instagram.
Let's be frank.
Yeah,
It doesn't count. Doesn't count, bro. Everyone's like, but Threads, check
Threads
this
has
out.
dropped.
Click into it, off you go.
But Threads users
fucking died in the ass.
But ChatGPT, this is like go in, link it to Google or something, make an account, go like that was if you were going into Google and typing in ChatGPT, pure curiosity. You weren't doing anything else. Instagram, you were in the app.
On Instagram,
you're
scrolling.
What's that fucking tab? You know,
true.
Threads. It doesn't, it's not as impressive. But 5 days. Instagram. So basically, the closest to ChatGPT outside of Threads was Instagram,
which was 2.5 months.
2.5 months. ChatGPT
to get to
5 days.
5 days.
Crazy,
Wow.
Man. And like I can tell you right now, I don't know about you guys, but I use it every fucking day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You use it every day. And
what do you use it for? Let's go through it.
How do you
in
use
your industry? What do you use it for?
Honestly, I'll tell you right now. Like sometimes I'll use it to like
not just ChatGPT, but any AI.
Well, okay. So specifically, the conversational AI is most useful for me because my primary method of doing my work is literally written and verbal communication.
Right.
So like emails, what have you. Like if I want to run an email through it and I go like fix this email up for me or what have you, because sometimes, bro, it just takes me ages to write these things. Just because for me, like naturally, I'm just slow at writing emails and shit.
You get bored.
So I run my emails through it. To be honest, sometimes I'll say like, provide an argument or like as to why so and so should do this, or provide an argument or a discussion for this. It's amazing. And then I'll just literally have a conversation with it. No, please fix up. Please shorten it. Make it longer. Make it less conversational. Whatever.
Yeah.
I do that honestly every day.
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy.
I love those
every other day at least.
I love the prompts bar. Like make it more conversational.
Yeah.
Or
Make it sound like
bro. Sometimes I reprimand it. I swear to God, I'm not joking. I'll actually say. Because what it will do is it'll often say things in American English with a summarize with a Z instead of an S. And I'll say, please use Australian vocabulary. Then I say, hey, sorry, here's Australian vocabulary. And then I'll type in my next prompt and it'll go back to American. And I'll say, I told you to use Australian vocabulary. Sorry, it'll fix it again. Then it'll go back and I said, I've told you now 3 fucking times to use Australian vocabulary. Why aren't you listening? And it'll literally say, I apologize.
JP screaming at his laptop and everyone's like,
but
what the
then
fuck
I actually
is he
get
doing?
scared because I'm like, bro, what happens if it fucking tries to hump me down now?
But I thought that what I was supposed to do was I was supposed to like catch on to those things. Okay,
it is. That's why it pissed me off.
No, but that's
furious.
why. And you know what? She's not going to hunt you down. She actually felt like a dumb cunt because she's like, I'm
trying to
sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Relax.
I'm trying to find a bit
Calm
where I
down.
spoke about it.
But you know what I even use it for when I'm
what do
writing
you
emails now as well is like, I've got an extension in my Google Chrome, which is like Magic. Do you use Magic keyboard? So when I'm writing emails or like inputting data into Salesforce.
It just comes up with automatic.
So I just do like keyboard shortcuts, which I guess is AI because, I mean, is it? Is
I
that?
don't know. Wait, what exactly? You
So like commonly used phrases are like instead of like sending an email for them, hey, I sent you I got in touch today, went through to your voicemail, I'll just be like LVM, like left voicemail, and it'll like spit out like a whole paragraph.
But that's like you typing in a specific. That's like a prompt.
Yeah, true.
But if you've used Grammarly before, bro, Grammarly will sit on top of your Google emails and it'll say like, do you want us to suggest an email response into this?
And
so
type the whole thing in?
it'll literally read your email and say. It's got 3 suggested responses. You click on one, it'll write it out, and you can just go in and edit it.
That's mad.
I need to actually use that more.
Bro, what tools do you use? Because you're in the same sort of field now. Like, what can I use to make my day a little bit easier, JP? You got any tips for me?
I mean, fuck, you have the cafe every other day. What are you talking about? It's the cafe every other day.
It's funny because like
easier.
The biggest thing, bro, but you've got it. Gong. Brilliant. So basically in sales, in like lots of sales companies, let alone technology sales, but there's these programs there's one called Gong, there's one called Chorus. We use Chorus actually, but Gong's a great one. You use Gong, right? Gong. And what it is actually its functionality is that it records calls. But then what it does is it uses AI to transcribe that call, that conversation, but it identifies each speaker individually, like by their name and everything, uses all the information in your calendar. It'll even send you a brief on the meeting. Oh, this is the company. Here's a bit of information on the company. I never look at it, right? That's what it does for me though. And then after, this is the most fucking amazing thing. You would have noticed that Gong does this. It'll have suggested follow-ups. Like, don't forget, you told this person that you were going to send them this document. Because it'll actually say,
transcribe
what I'll do is, and it'll come up, it'll send me a summary email. And it'll say, it'll quote me, and it'll say, I'll send you that after today's session, this PDF of blah, blah, blah. And I can click on it. It'll take me to that part of the call where I said it.
Wow.
That's an
team meetings. That's
amazing.
hectic.
Like, because the good thing is about it, to be honest, it's good and bad, because I have to focus so much on like listening, writing stuff down so I don't miss it, but then obviously actively listening so I can respond.
Yeah.
That at least now I don't have to focus so much on like, oh shit, if
The
I don't,
admin.
well, because now I've got a recording as
Yeah.
well, so I can go back to it. So now I can genuinely just 100% focus on what they're saying instead of having to focus on fucking writing everything down.
Well, just even here, like with our podcast, like with the Riverside, we're going to stop this recording today. We're going to stop doing this and press stop on the recording and go home. And then by the time we're done, there'll be
Riverside.
already clips. Done.
Oh, the magic clips. Yeah,
The
yeah,
clips.
yeah. So like, and that's the thing, like the magic clips we use on Riverside, you literally hit generate and it just, look, it's not perfect,
No.
but it gives you at
A
least
great
2,
template.
3, 4 to go off that are like
Yeah.
good bits.
How
And
much
then you
of-
can shorten it around that.
How much of those 2 clips that you put up with Maxi did you have to sort of?
So JP
Edit.
clipped them, but I'd imagine before he clipped them,
I used
they were
it-
the templates.
Well, I clipped them from the magic clips. I literally said generate magic clips, and Riverside gave me like 10. I ended up using 3. They were good. Some of them were shit. But the whole point is it's not going to be a silver bullet. But it was it gave me enough to start with. That I didn't have to go through the whole call. Yeah, it'll get way better.
Yeah, and I think like with the PT industry, I think using ChatGPT, what people can actually do is write a 12-week program. They could go on there and say, write me a 12-week
imagine how
program
easy that'd be with that?
for muscle building, etc., and then also for a meal plan as well.
How can we make our podcast more effective? And I guess, JP, is everything all right technicality-wise?
Browser preventing recording.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
that's not good. That's not good.
How long has that been? We were just talking about the success of AI
and how great it is.
and how good Riverside is. The company that JP
Someone
works
else is
for.
already recording this in the cat. Oh my god.
Is it still recording on your
It's
phone? But
glitching.
Who's recording on that account?
No one is. It's just this has happened to me before actually.
You son of a
yeah, but is it
bitch.
still recording on the camera? Or no.
No, we're just going to keep on going.
No,
No?
no, it's not because that's recording via here.
Right.
We'll be back with you in just a moment. We're just having some slight technical
You
difficulties.
guys just
Yeah.
go. I mean, we've got the pod track.
And then when we have these technical difficulties, when in the IA generation that we go to, it'll be able to cut this out
Totally.
for us. Yeah.
And but I just think I'm just trying to think on like on another. How can we make our podcast better with the use of AI? Like, do you think? Because all right, we can come up with like the ideas of, but how do we actually get to a point where we have a game plan with using AI? Because I think some of the best companies and businesses and individuals that are implementing AI in their lives
Yeah.
have a strategic game plan as to how they're going to implement X, Y, and Z.
I think it's still they do it themselves, I think. But, coming up with the topics and coming up with the structure of it, you can do that through AI. But I still think people have to do the research. Like, we still have to research and stuff like that.
Totally.
And do those things. But AI can give us those talking points.
Yeah.
And I think that's what JP did with that whole list of things that he came up with, which is which was actually pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, no. Keen to really like jump into this a little bit more. And
I would say by episode like 20... No, sorry. Episode 40 to 50 will be on that path.
are you hearing a slight echo?
Is that Riverside, motherfucker?
This is
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's
Sorry, you guys go on. I'm just trying to not.
So, Maddie, how's things going? What's been happening?
I'm just troubleshooting.
not too
boys.
much. I went to be out for dinner on the weekend.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Went to a beautiful restaurant in Bondi. Really nice.
What's it called?
Diorazio.
Diorazio.
Yeah.
What's
Italian cuisine. Italian cuisine.
Oh, nice.
Had a little spicy vodka rigatoni.
Spicy vodka rigatoni.
Yeah, have you ever had vodka rigatoni?
No?
No. So, okay. Basically, there's vodka in the sauce, but they reduce it. So, essentially, when you're making a vodka sauce, very similar to making like a red sauce.
Yeah.
You just grab some olive oil, slice some garlic, fry it off.
You're a bit of a chef, eh?
A little bit.
You're a bit of a chef.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not
Some of your posts you put up, looks very nice.
fucking
Or was that at the
appetizing.
cafe?
Which one?
Was that are those at the cafes or was that you?
The eggs?
Cooking.
No,
yeah, the eggs and
the
stuff.
eggs. You saw
That's
the
it?
eggs. No, that was at home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Had some guanciale in the fridge. Actually, it was pancetta.
Maybe we should go there then. Maybe we were going to go for this 22nd episode.
Bro, I'll fucking go the same to Diorazio again.
At
Would you go?
Bondi?
Or should we get it?
Bro, I'd love to go there. I don't know
It's
if I
in
should
Bondi.
refresh this
Yeah.
browser window because
Um,
I'm concerned that we might lose.
are we going to still have the
video.
original footage from before?
Well, I think I'm just hoping it didn't cut out like
Yeah.
the whole thing. I'm hoping we got a decent part of it. I think we did because I had a look at it like.
I think
20
through the
minutes
use
in.
of AI, we'll be able to rectify the issue. But no, sort of, I guess, like, you know, sort of closing comments and things like that, JP. Is there anything you really want to sort of add and summarize the whole topic? Because I just think it's been one of the most interesting topics.
Yeah.
I think I learnt a lot, JP, from some of the research that you've done.
Yeah, good research.
No, you've done really great.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of good.
And you know quite a bit, JP.
Well, through the thankfully to AI.
Yeah.
Thanks, AI.
Yeah. A little bit of
But also through what you've done with work, obviously.
Yeah, no,
like you're using a lot. Yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
And you know what, Sean? I think once you sort of, you know, step into a new venture with World Gym, I think you'll be able to sort of find ways to implement rostering systems and like, hey, ChatGPT, I'm starting, and you know what you do? You literally give it as much information as you can. So
build
like in your prompt, hey, ChatGPT, I'm going to be opening Granville World Gym. Can you please, in your response to me, look at World Gym's website and find out about the culture. Do all the research that you can. And then in your response to me, please, it'll just
100%.
It's unbelievable.
Well, this is your goal for the week, JP. You have to watch iRobot.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it.
It's a good movie. Very good movie.
No, totally.
I mean, the thing is, it's just I mean, it's one of those ones that I've seen it come up so many times.
Oh, have you seen Demolition Man?
No.
With Sylvester Stallone?
No,
I haven't.
Oh, watch that too.
You were saying something interesting.
No, I was just going to regurgitate what ChatGPT told me. That's actually very fitting for this episode. I just wanted to say that as we wrap up, I thought this is such a thought-provoking topic, especially as we've been exploring this topic of mind versus machine, right? So I think the beauty of it is that we're constantly reminded the relationship between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Mate, spit those bars,
is
JP.
a journey of discovery.
Spit those bars, brother.
While machines continue to amaze us with their abilities, let's not forget the unparalleled depth and complexity of the human mind.
Amen.
As we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of technology, may we harness the power of AI to complement, enhance, and amplify our own cognitive strengths.
Fuck me, that was
Join us next time as we delve into new frontiers of knowledge and innovation. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep open your minds to the endless possibilities that lie ahead. And most importantly, stay free.
Hey, like, share, subscribe. We are the Dropouts. Let's go.